Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we're going to talk about tonight is the remarks that Gretchen Whitmer made after she signed the newest red flag laws in the nation. Now, I know I hit the red flag laws earlier today, but I want to make this about her response because this is almost more important than the legislation she signed because it speaks to something bigger than what we normally talk about. Everything is going to be linked in the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about this one and spread this out because this message is important. And if you are new or you are a returning viewer, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and making sure you turn that notification bell on. We need as many of you as possible to get in here with us so we can help spread freedom and the Second Amendment along to the next generation, and thank you so much in advance for your consideration. And the content today is brought to you by Lear Capital. You all know we're in a recession, and even if the Biden administration pulls an ATF and starts redefining terms, the fact is we all know which way the wind is blowing, and it's a pretty good time to partner with a company like Lear Capital to turn some of your retirement accounts into a protected safe haven asset like gold or silver. There are a lot of gold companies out there to choose from. I do business with Lear Capital because I trust them, and you can too. With over 25 years of experience, thousands of 5-star reviews, and a 24-hour purchase guarantee, Lear Capital is the place to buy silver and gold. The best way to invest in gold is through Lear Capital. I suggest you call my friends at Lear Capital and ask them specifically about converting a portion of your IRA or your 401k into precious metals. Go to LearLangley.com or call the number that's been on your screen this whole time, 800-330-4630, and get your free gold and silver investor guides and receive up to $15,000 in free bonus metals with a qualified purchase. All right, thank you so much to Lear Capital. But my brothers and sisters, we've got to get into this because this is one of those things that you've got to look into the actual words that she uses when she's defending her position. This is not about her signing legislation because she's a Democrat. Listen to what she says. They will always tell you their true incentives if you're listening. All right, let me get to this first one. And again, tell me if I'm landing this plane, I'm on the right horse, or I'm just going straight to crazy town. Let's get Gretchen.
What does it mean to you to sign the red flag gun law today?
Well, it's a sign that we are taking very seriously the opportunity to make improvements in Michigan law that will hopefully keep people safer. This in combination with the secure storage, which I signed about a month ago, as well as background checks. These are policies that are overwhelmingly supported by Michiganders, overwhelmingly supported by gun owners.
All right, there's two really big important takeaways here. One, she is consistently going back to the well of, it's for the safety of all Michiganders. Now, here's the important piece. Throughout human history, safety has been utilized to take away freedoms routinely. Whether you are a tyrannical government, whether you are an overpowering union, whether you are a local jurisdiction, you are a police department, whatever it is, safety is always the thing that plies your freedoms directly from you. Because after all, who doesn't want to be safe? The main problem is, in order to be safe of what she's referencing, you have to give up your rights for them to make you safe. In this legislation that she just signed, you have to prove to the court that you can have your rights, not the other way around. The court, the government doesn't have to prove why you can't have your freedom. That is profoundly important. Then she goes down the second level. Well, it's overwhelmingly supported by almost all gun owners. Yeah, prove it. First of all, that's what I like to say to you. Second, there's a lot of things in our history that are really questionable, looked back in pretty negative light. That was okay at the time because it was societally acceptable. The reason that the founders put in place our Constitution, the reason that the Bill of Rights exists, is so that when common sense safety supersedes rights, the railways of freedom are there to be protected because the Constitution says, I don't care what you're saying with safety, you can't do this. They knew this was coming. This is the path of all tyranny, whether it's this big in the beginning or this big in the end. The point is, it always starts with combined safety and soft, kind words for everyone to feel nice and protected. Always begins that way. Not to mention the fact that these red flag laws nationwide, you don't get to face your accuser. You don't get your day in court. And like I said earlier, a judge decides whether you get your rights and you have to prove why you can keep them. This is dramatically unconstitutional, and they know it, which is why they do what I'm about to show you. Check this out. This is the second clip from Gretchen here. Then I'm going to highlight something else she says.
this isn't a Republican or Democratic issue. This isn't about the private sector or the public sector. This is about all of our safety. This is about every parent who's worried when they drop their child off at school and wants to know that they're going to be able to pick them up at the end of the school day, or they'll come home on the bus. And so this is about every one of us.
So is that your answer when Republicans say, no, 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 you're taking away my rights, you're trying to take away my guns, you're invading my privacy, this is not right?
The overwhelming majority of gun owners support these actions. They recognize a gun is an instrument that can be used to inflict incredible harm and loss of life. And so making sure that the people who have access to guns are not a threat to themselves or to others is a reasonable step to take.
Reasonable. Safety. We'll make sure you're okay with your rights, because those are very dangerous things. They have a tremendous propensity to have negative impacts on anybody. Now, we can't talk about the moral and ethical issues that would allow you to get to that point. No, 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 no. That would imply that I've done something wrong with my moral and ethical guidelines, because there's 3 million versions of truth in the United States right now. No, no. Let's point to this thing right in the hand, because that is clearly the problem. She continues to go after, well, all gun owners support this. Everyone does, and if you don't, you're just crazy. It's isolating you out to the side of the conversation to say, well, you clearly just don't want safety. Doesn't everyone deserve to have their children go to school safely and picked up safely? 1,000% they do. Every single one does. Every single American does. In fact, these children should not have to deal with this. But my solution is not to infringe the rights upon 330 million Americans across the United States, of which will not work. All the while, you're not protecting the most vulnerable, of which you're claiming to be safe. That's the point. They are plying freedoms away individually, incrementally, through the guise of safety, but it's going towards a tyrannical system. They even said recently, as in yesterday or today when this was signed, the lieutenant governor said, this is a good floor for us to bounce from here. They will never stop. There is no finish line. Trust me. But let me show you the next thing, which just drives me bananas that an actual reporter says this in wrapping up this story. You'll get a kick out of this.
A lot of people were on hand for that signing. The governor says these gun laws are supported by the majority of people who live here in Michigan, including gun owners. And while there are those who give pushback, she says her ultimate goal is simply to keep people safe here in Michigan. But another law signed, so...
Just part of a big raft of laws around gun legislation.
Absolutely, so. 1, 2, 3. And so some people, well, a lot of people for it and some people against it always. But bottom line, that gun reform is moving forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it makes a difference. Thanks.
Well, let's just put this on the scales of balance. You've lost your due process rights. Some people are going to lose their Second Amendment rights. Anybody down to a roommate or an ex can use this law. And we'll see what it does. It's, after all, a lot of gun owners were for it, and it's all about safety. But this is moving forward. Do you see what they do? Just saying. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.